What's up, everyone? Josh or Miho here. I hope everybody's doing good and well and stuff. I know it's been quite a while since I've made any videos on this channel. There's a few reasons for that, and I'll explain them as best as I possibly can. Number one, I honestly feel there's nothing else left to review on this channel for the year. I've talked about everything I've pretty much wanted to talk about. I know that there are other albums that are being released within this month, and I want to be able to hear them and listen to them without the worry of having to review it on this channel. I want to basically enjoy music without having to review it here. Second of all, pretty much burnout, brain fried from reviewing a lot of music. I just needed the time to rest, and I needed a break. That's what I'm doing, and that's what I'm going to continue to do until something new for 2013 is made available to be spoken of. The next videos you will see on this channel will most likely be the countdown lists. Everybody's getting their lists ready, up and prepared, but I'm not going to do it so early. They can if they want to, but I'm going to do things a little later on. There's still other albums that I need to fully process in order to make my top 20 a lock. It's not a lock yet, but when it is, you'll find out about it here. And of course, as also, there'll be honorable mentions and whatnot. But yeah, seeing as how that I mentioned top 10s, this video that I'm doing right now is going to be a top 10. It's going to be a look into the future, so to speak. I think 2012 has been a great year for metal, but 2013 is pretty much only the beginning, because there's going to be a ton of great music coming out in 2013, and honestly, I had to compile a list of albums that I'm looking forward to in 2013, and if I'm not mistaken, these albums are scheduled to come out in 2013. No holdbacks, no pushbacks, or anything like that. They are set for 2013, and that's what this list is going to be. Before I get into the list, I just want to throw out some honorable mentions in 2013. I'm also looking forward to albums from Vole, Deeds of Flesh, Gravehill, The Dillinger Escape Plan. Hopefully New Deceased will come out on Hell's Headbangers. Hopefully New Nails, Swallowed, the new EPs from Mitochondrion and Convulse, the new Devourment record, hopefully new Necros Christos, and AMSG on Profound Lore. So, with that said, let's get on with this list. It's in no particular order, by the way. The first album on my list is the upcoming debut album from the band Imprecation, entitled Satanae Tenebris Infinita. If you don't know who Imprecation are, they are pretty much one of the most respected and most well-known black and death metal bands to come out of the Texas metal scene. I mean, this is a band that created some incredible demo and EP work like Ceremony of the Nine Angles and Sigil of Baphomet. Both of those releases are just absolutely legendary. And after a little bit of a hiatus, they decided to return and come out with some brand new material, most notably this year, the Jehovah Denied demo, which was originally done on CDR, but they reissued it on tape. It is an absolutely fantastic piece of black and death metal, just crushing riffs, harsh vocals. Everything you would want in black and death metal is with Imprecation, and this is going to be a debut that is pretty much high expectations for me. I am really hoping that these newer songs, including some of the ones that were on Jehovah Denied, will get the treatment and the respect that they deserve. I'm really excited for this. Next is the new album from Rotting Christ, entitled Do What Thou Wilt. Rotting Christ really need no introduction if you've been a fan of metal from Greece. Rotting Christ is, to me, probably the biggest band to come out of that country. Just absolutely amazing progression throughout the years, from their earlier albums like Thy Mighty Contract and Non Serviam, to a little bit of a more darkened gothic type of edge to their black metal sound like Theogonia and Aiello. Both of those albums were absolutely fantastic, and hearing about this new album, it only makes me wonder what type of direction they're going to take. Are they going to step back and revisit some older ideas, or just continue going on with what they've had? Rotting Christ are a great band, and to me, they always deliver the goods. I'm looking forward to this one. Next up is the new album from Suffocation, entitled Pinnacle of Bedlam. Suffocation are one of the best death metal bands ever, in my view. These guys are so legendary. Effigy of the Forgotten, Pierced from Within, to even some of their more current 2000s material, like their self-titled and Blood Oath. This is the follow-up to Blood Oath, and what really intrigues me about this upcoming album is the fact that they have brought back Dave Colross to do drums, because Dave Colross played drums with this band for the Despise the Sun EP, which I consider one of this band's best absolute works. His drumming was just absolutely phenomenal, and Dave is just a great drummer in general. And I'm really excited that they're bringing him back to do drums here, and I would encourage any longtime Suffocation fan to not fear or fret. Dave Colross is a great drummer, and if I'm not mistaken, they've re-recorded one song off of Breeding the Spawn. I'm probably wrong on that, but they re-recorded a song from their older stuff, and it's going to be on this new album, so it should be very interesting, to say the least. I enjoyed Blood Oath, but I would have loved for it to have been better, so hopefully this album will pick up rightfully where that album left off. Excuse me. Next up is the new album from Guttural Spoil entitled Nourishing the Spoil. In 2006, this band came out with an album called Reek of Pubescent Despoilment. That album was incredibly deceiving. And what I mean by that is the fact that behind the gory artwork and the over-the-top lyrics lied some incredibly technical and intelligent brutal death metal. And that was a debut that got a lot of people talking. A lot of people really had their eyes on Guttural Spoil. But all this time later, nothing. Nothing has happened. No news, no talk of a new album. Everything's just been pretty silent as far as this band is concerned. And now, all this time later, we have a brand new album. There's a new song out. I forget what it's called, but it really does sound like the band getting better at their craft musically and vocally. It's just amazing. This has really been one of the most anticipated brutal death metal albums for quite some time, and hopefully it will see the light of day. Cross your fingers and hope that it does come out. It needs to, and it has to. It's crucial brutal death metal. And speaking of brutal death metal, another album on my list is the upcoming new album from Defeated Sanity, entitled Passages into Deformity. Defeated Sanity are one of the few brutal death metal bands that really encompass a great technical quality to their sound, musically, lyrically, and a great deal more. I've always enjoyed everything that this band has done, even their even to some of their earlier stuff, like trying to think, what's that one album? Psalms of the Moribund. I really enjoyed that record a lot. Yeah, I'm losing my mind about Defeated Sanity a little bit, but this is going to be an album that really continues the kind of path that they've been taking with their current sound. They have another new singer, because it seems as though every album they have a new singer or something like that. And from the looks of the new song that's been released by this band, it really does sound solid. It sounds like typical Defeated Sanity business as usual. I expect nothing but fantastic stuff from this new record. Next on my list is the upcoming new album from the band Howl, entitled Bloodlines. Now, if you don't know who Howl are, they're based out of Rhode Island, and I consider them to be the evil twin of Baroness. Absolutely dark, hateful sludge metal with a little bit of hard rock influence and a lot of extreme metal influences thrown in there. I mean, their debut album, Full of Hell, was my #1 album of 2010. Even the EP that they released prior to that was just absolutely fantastic. This is a band that really cares about its craft, its great musical compositions. I just love the lyrics and the ideas and vibes that this band puts out. And hopefully this will be a sophomore effort that can match and even be better than Full of Hell. I really enjoy this band, and they pretty much deserve your attention and your respect, in my view. Next on the list is the upcoming new album from the band Intronaut, entitled Habitual Levitations. Um, I really don't talk too much about progressive metal here, but Intronaut are one of the few progressive metal bands that do this style properly and do this style justice. It's just absolutely fantastic, the type of music that this band makes. Valley of Smoke was just an absolutely beautiful record. Beautiful musically, lyrically, the vocal harmonies. It's just very, very smart and intelligent music. And Intronaut know exactly what they're doing. And I know they have a tour coming up with Meshuggah and Animals as leaders, so if they happen to come near your town, see them live, check them out, and support them. Just great, great stuff all around, and I really wonder what kind of directions they're going to take for this record. It's going to be awesome. Next on my list is the new album from the band Portal, entitled Vexovoid. Portal are, to me, one of the absolute best death metal bands to come out of Australia. They're pretty much your answer to an H.P. Lovecraft story, because within this band's crazy and unique musical structuring lie some very smart and intelligent lyrics. And with each album they've put out, Sepia, Outre, and Swarth, just some incredibly complex, confusing, and even harrowing music has been delivered from this band. I mean, they just came out with the new artwork for this album, and it looks like the typical type of Portal artwork. Just crazy, beautiful, lush. This is an unpredictable type of band, and you never know what kind of steps or directions they're going to take. And I'm really looking forward to hearing what Vexovoid sounds like. Um, Next on my list is probably going to be one of the first real releases of 2013, and that is the new Voivod album, Target Earth. I mean, Voivod need no introduction if you've been into thrash or classic metal from the 80s, but this is a band that has evolved and become a lot more grown up and a lot more mature, but yet still keep the typical Voivod sound intact. I mean, War and Pain, Roar, Dimension Hatros, Killing Technology, those are absolute classics, but some of their later material seems to have verged off into more modern, progressive type of territories, like on their last record, Infini. Um, I'm really curious to see what kind of direction Voivod are going to take for this new record. It seems as though they're taking a little bit of a step back to their roots in a way. And I'm optimistic to find out what kind of crazy epic stories are going to be weaved with this new album. Voivod are very intelligent musicians, and they deliver the goods. I always feel they deliver the goods no matter what. And the final album on my list is an album that was just recently announced, and honestly, this took a lot of people by surprise. It's gotten a lot of negative and positive feedback, but regardless of how it's going to sound or what it's going to feel like, people are talking about the new Carcass album. Carcass are back. And this is going to be their first album in over 17 years. And honestly, of they have a lot of proving to do, I guess, because the last album that they came out with was Swan Song, which was an album that to this day still continuously gets a lot of mixed reactions. Some people love it, some people hate it. This new album is going to be recorded as a trio. Basically, Jeff Walker, Bill Steer, and a guy by the name of Daniel Wilding, who drummed in bands like Aosoth, Aborted, and currently for Trigger the Bloodshed. He's a very good drummer in his own right, but it's only making me wonder what type of sound direction they're going to take. Are they going to continue the melodic death metal sound that they helped make well known with albums like Heartwork, and even to earlier stuff like Necroticism, Descanting the Insalubrious, or maybe even go back to their early, older gore grindcore roots with Reek of Putrefaction and Symphonies of Sickness? Regardless of what the output is going to be, this is going to be an album that gets people talking, and honestly, my thoughts might be neutral on this album right now, but I am really, really interested to hear what this is going to sound like. Hopefully it's for the best, and hopefully this will be a return to what Carcass are definitely awesome at. So, That's it. That's my list. Next video most likely will be honorable mentions for my 2012 metal albums list. So thanks for watching. Thanks for checking out my channel. And until the next time, Army Hell out.